Good evening, dear student. Assalamu alaikum. How are you today? My dear respected teachers, guardians, and my beloved students, I welcome you all in my today's English first paper class. And this is for Jananwar, assistant teacher in English, Khulna High School, BSRI, Ishodi, Pabna. Before starting the class, let me check is everything okay or not. You will just tell me in comment that am I audible, my screen is clear, and is there any problem? You can tell me so that I can hear you as well. Okay. Check. Okay. Still I can't see that. No. Okay, let me see from that device. Yes, I can see. Mehdi Hassan Rupok, walaikum assalam. Welcome to my today's class. Yes, thank you. Just tell me, is everything okay or not? And may I request you all, please do share the class so that everyone can enjoy and I can hear you also. Okay, now please be ready with your textbook, your notebook and everything. Yes, now let's get started. As everything is okay, let's get started. And if you share the class, all of your friend can hear you. Okay? Yes. Now I think. Okay. Now look at the picture. He is a great son of our country. Who is he? What do you know about him? Just tell me about this, right? Okay. Yes, you know he is none other than Zahir Raihan, right? The famous filmmaker. And also we know that he is a very famous freedom fighter because he did a lot for the liberation of our country. And we will know some more information about him from our today's text, and we will do some activity and also know about him, right? So why we are talking about Zahir Raihan? Because he was a dreamer, right? In our previous class we talked about another dreamer, the Priti Lata, and today we are just talking about another dreamer, Zahir Raihan. So today's lesson is They Had Dreams Part 2, right? And from our today's text, what we will do, we will be able to read and understand the text. We will, while understanding the text, we will be able to complete a grid. If we understand the text, of course we will be able to do that, and we will also complete sentences and also write some answers to the questions, right? Now, before starting the text, let's get started with the vocabulary. Our first vocabulary is procession. Procession. Look, this is procession, right? So this is a noun. Look at the picture. Zahir Raihan joined the procession on 1952, right? Now, what could be the meaning? The meaning is a number of people or vehicles moving forward in an orderly fashion, especially as a part of a ceremony. That means actually for any purpose, if a number of people move together. In Bengali, we call it michil, right? Shobha Jatra, also you can say somebody, you can say the parade, also all these are similar words, right? Our next word is ban. Ban. This is ban. Ban, this is a noun. Look at the picture. When we can see this type of picture, when we are not allowed to do something, then we find this picture, right? So our train authority, the train authority banned smoking on the train. That means if you are traveling on train or traveling by a train, then you are not allowed to smoke. So it is just forbidden. That means authority has banned it. So what is the meaning? That is an official or legal prohibition. Prohibition means you are not allowed to do this, right? And our third word is atrocity. Atrocity, right? Atrocity, this is noun. Look at the picture. He is the victim, and these very people, they are doing something unusual, something harm to the people. So what is the name of the activity? This is atrocity. We fought in 1972 against Pakistani rulers to get rid of their atrocity. So why we fought against the Pakistani rulers? To get rid of. To get rid of means to become free. Get rid of their atrocity. So what is the meaning of atrocity? This is an extremely wicked or cruel act, typically one involving physical violence or injury. So this is atrocity. That means shoshon, you can say, nipiron, nirjaton, in Bengali you can say. Our next word is capture. It is capture. C-A-P-T-U-R-E, capture. Capture, this is verb. Look at the picture. This is, I think it is not new to you. You just try to match the picture with the word, and let's see the example. Shahidullah Kaisar was captured and killed by the Pakistani army, right? Shahidullah Kaisar was captured and killed by the Pakistani army. So what could be the meaning? So captured means take into one's possession or controlled by force. That means if somebody take the control of others by force, জোর করে কাউকে যদি নিজের নিয়ন্ত্রণে নিয়ে আসা হয় বা ধরে দেওয়া যায়, বন্দী বানানো হয়, so that is capture. And our last word, that is collaborator. Collaborator, what is collaborator? Pakistani army and the local collaborators killed a number of intellectuals of our country during the liberation war. So look at the picture. All these people are collaborators. That means they are just doing together some project, some activity, and they are discussing to finalize that very activity. So they are the collaborators. So what could be the meaning? Okay. Sorry. Yes. So what could be the meaning? A person who works jointly on an activity or project, an associate, shohojogi. If I want to perform something, then I want someone to assist me, to help me. That very helping hand, that very associator is the collaborator, right? So this is all about the vocabulary. And if you have more vocabulary, you can ask me through comments, right? So that I can know if there is any problem or not, right? So let me check. Yes, cruelty, Mehdi Hassan Rupak, arrest, good. You can ask me if there is any other vocabulary. Yes, I think this is clear and you have no other new words. Okay, then let's move forward. Okay, so now we are going to read the text on Zahir Raihan and it is in section B. Now please open your book and I'm reading the text and please match your reading with my one, right? Zahir Raihan was one of the most talented filmmakers in Bangladesh. He was born on 19 August 1935 in the village Majupur in Feni district. He was an active worker of the language movement. He was one of the 10 students to go out in the procession on 21 February 1952 despite a ban on such activities imposed by the authorities. That means when it was banned to go out in a procession during the language movement, he, among the 10 students, that means 10 students brought out a procession and he was among those 10 students. So you can see that how brave he was. As a result, he and many others were arrested and taken to prison. Prison means jailkhana. So as he violated the law, then he was taken to prison. Raihan was also present in the historical meeting of Amtola on 21 February 1952. He also took part in the mass movement in 1969. In 1971, he joined the Liberation War. So you can see lots of activity and all these are activity as a patriotic, right? So he joined the language movement, he joined the mass movement, also he joined the Liberation War. All through his life, Zahir Raihan dreamt of a democratic society, a society that would ensure freedom of speech. So what he dreamt of? He dreamt of a democratic society where people can express their speech or their idea or their views openly, freely, without any hesitation. He had many dreams about our film industry too. He made a legendary film, Jibon Theke Neya, based on the language movement of 1952. It was a protest against the autocratic government then ruling our country. The family portrayed in that film symbolically represented East Pakistan. The family was ruled by an autocrat who had to go to prison for her conspiracy. Conspiracy means doing some illegal activity and doing something wrong to the family members, and all the time he is just planning to perform his own interest, right? So that is the conspiracy. In Bengali we can say Shorojantra. During the Liberation War in 1971, this film was shown outside Bangladesh. Celebrated filmmakers like Satyajit Roy, Mrinal Sen and Ritik Ghatak appreciated the film. Raihan gave all the money the film made to the Freedom Fighters Trust. Besides his great documentary on Pakistani atrocities, Stop Genocide, helped create world sentiment in favor of our liberation war. On 30 December 1971, someone informed Raihan about an address somewhere at Mirpur where he might find his brother, the famous writer Shahidullah Kaisar, who had gone missing from 14 December 1971. Kaiser was captured and killed by the Pakistani army and the local collaborators during the last days of the war. Accordingly, Raihan left home to get his brother back, but he never returned. Zahir Raihan's dream was fulfilled. He could see the emergence of an independent Bangladesh, though he did not get back his brother. And it's a pity that this dreamer could not live to see his dream come true. That means, though he was a dreamer that one day Bangladesh will be a free country, he dreamt a lot, but it was unfortunate that he was not alive to see the independent Bangladesh. So we salute him for all his activity, right? And Shahidullah Kaiser was a famous writer and the intellect one in our country. He was the brother of Zahir Raihan. So to find out his brother, he went out, and then he was also missed and he never returned back. So this is all about the text on Zahir Raihan. Now let's see how far you have understood the text. This is the activity on section C, right? In your book you can see that in section C there is a grid. This is called a grid, right? And through this grid, when you will fill up the activity information from the text, then we will understand that you have understood the text and you are able to find out the information from the text. So let's go back to the text and find out this information about Zahir Raihan. So what is that? Participated in. In which activity Zahir Raihan was participated in, right? Famous as, how he was famous. Best documentary. What was Zahir Raihan's best documentary? Movie based on language movement. What was the famous movie that Zahir Raihan made on the basis, on the platform, on the story, on the event of language movement, right? Missing since when he was missed, and his dream, what was his dream? Now please find out the answer and check this one. So participated, where he was participated in? He participated in language movement, mass movement and liberation war. We have talked about on this thing. Famous as filmmaker. He was very famous as filmmaker. And best documentary, Stop Genocide. Movie based on language movement, that is Jibon Theke Neya. And missing since 30 December 1971. Since this date he was missed. And his dream was a democratic society ensuring freedom of speech. That means he dreamt of a society where everybody will speak freely. So this is all the information from the text. Hope you got the idea and find out the information from the text. Now let's move to the next section, and this is also very easy activity. What is that? You have to complete the sentences from the information from the text, right? Now let's see what is the sentences. What are the sentences? Zahir Raihan was famous. Why he was famous? As something you know. Raihan was imprisoned. Imprisoned মানে বন্দী বানানো হয়েছিল. So you know why, but when. Just you will complete the sentence with the information from the text. He participated in dash and dash. He participated in many activities. You will write only two. Jibon Theke Neya symbolizes dash. Jibon Theke Neya was a very popular, very famous film made by Zahir Raihan. And what is the main story of that film? You will just write here. What does the film symbolizes? That he donated. He donated. What did he donate? You will write here. He worked to organize dash by his great documentary Stop Genocide. He worked to organize. What he organized. Okay, you will do this thing, complete it with the information. And finally, his disappearance. Disappearance means he was missing. He was missed, right? His disappearance is a great dash. So you will just complete it. Now please do it by yourself and let me check if you are giving me the answers or not. I'm waiting for your answers. Yes, Mehdi Hassan Rupok, filmmaker, very good. Famous as a filmmaker. As a filmmaker, Rupok, please put an a before a filmmaker, right? Because you are completing a sentence. Zahir Raihan was famous as a filmmaker. If you did any mistake in writing the completing sentence, then all the sentence will be wrong. So please be careful about this. Thank you for answering. And then Raihan was imprisoned. You can write. Okay, Asaduzzaman Rana, thank you. Thank you so much. I can see Mehdi Hassan Rupok. Yes. Also, there are lots of teacher or students and guardians. Thank you so much for joining the class. Yes. Okay, dear students, you give me the answers and I'm showing my answers so that you can match your one. Okay, look at the answers. Zahir Raihan was famous as filmmaker, right? Raihan was imprisoned for going out in a procession on, there would be a space here, procession on 21 February 1952. He participated in language movement and liberation war. Also you can say the Amtola meeting and prayer. Can you remember? The mass movement. So all the important activities of the country, he was present there. Jibon Theke Niya symbolizes the protest against the autocratic government then ruling the country. Protest against the autocratic government. স্বৈরাচারী যে গভর্নমেন্ট ছিল সেই গভর্নমেন্টের বিরুদ্ধে ষড়যন্ত্র বা তাদের যে প্রতিবাদটাকে সিম্বলাইজ করা হয়েছে এখানে. He donated all the money the film made to the freedom fighters trust. Freedom fighterদের যে trust ছিল, he donated all the money that he got from the movie জীবন থেকে নেয়া. He donated all the money there. He worked to organize world sentiment in favor of our liberation war by his great documentary, Stop Genocide. His disappearance is a great loss for our country. You can say is a great pity for us, you can also say. So you will just complete the sentence with the information from the text, right? Now, let me check. Yes, you are giving the answers and I can see that it is just scrolling up so that I missed someone. Okay, thank you so much. Now we will move for answering the questions, right? Here I have compiled two questions that is also in your book. So look at the question very minutely and try to bring out the answers, right? Why is Zahir Raihan considered a freedom fighter though he was a filmmaker? That means he was a filmmaker, but why he was considered a freedom fighter? You will give me the answer. How does the title of the lesson fit the story of Zahir Raihan? That means this is the story of Zahir Raihan. You will tell me why the title is They Had Dream. Okay, how this title fit with the story of Zahir Raihan, right? Okay. Now, okay. Now let me give you the answers. Okay, I know you have already understood the answers. The first one, Zahir Raihan is considered a freedom fighter. he joined the Liberation War in 1971. Besides, he donated money in Freedom Fighters Trust, and his documentary Stop Genocide world sentiment in favor, gathers world sentiment in favor of our liberation war. And his documentary, that means there is a missing of the verb, sorry, and his documentary Stop Genocides gather or moved world sentiment in favor of our liberation war. And the second one, the title of the lesson fits to the story. The lesson is about the story of Zahir Raihan's dream for a democratic society that will ensure freedom of the speech. So as he has a specific dream and he worked for his dream, and finally his dream came true, but he was not allowed to see his dream. So as he has the dream, so his story goes with the or fits the title, They Had Dream. Because in this lesson we talked about the person who had a special dream, and that very dream he worked or she worked for, and that came true. So this is all about the answers of the questions. Now let's move to the homework. This is a very important homework because it will take time. Please do it within the time, because you will now go to a house of a freedom fighter, a very honorary person of a society. Meet a freedom fighter in your locality. Interview him or her, then write a paragraph on him or her. That means you will just first go to the house of a freedom fighter, first meet him or her, and then take an interview. And then go back to your home, and on the basis of the information, please write down a paragraph on that very freedom fighter, right? So this is the homework. Please keep the homework with yourself, and when you will meet your subject teacher, please submit it to him or her, and they will check it for you. So this is all about my today's class. Thank you for watching all the classes very attentively. Hope you have enjoyed the class. See you in the next class. Till then, Allah Hafiz. Bye bye. Assalamu alaikum.